Before we get started, there are a few things you should set. First, you need to know where your preferences are. Although you don't need to change any of them to get started, it's good to know where they are, and we'll be referencing them in later chapters. Go to your File menu and select Preferences. This opens up the Preference dialog, and you can see there are quite a few preferences to set. They're grouped logically in 9 different groupings. If you click on a different tab, you can see the preferences for that particular grouping. These are preferences for rendering, for inverse kinematics, for animation. These are colors, viewport preferences, gamma preferences, file preferences, and keyboard preferences. As I said, we won't be changing these right now, but we will be referring to them in later chapters. Click OK. One more thing you should set before you get started is your view settings. You'll notice that each view has a label. And if you right-click your mouse, so click the right mouse button on any one of these view names, you get a contextual menu. You can change the render settings. You can show or hide the grid, show the background if there is one, show the title safe and action safe areas, and change a bunch of other settings. Make sure your perspective view is set to smooth and highlights. We'll be using this as our default setting for all of our demonstrations. Notice at the bottom of this contextual menu you have Configure. This lets you configure your views. When I click on this, I get the viewport configuration dialog. I can set the rendering method for this particular view. I can select the layout for all of my views. I can select the safe frame settings, the adaptive degradation settings, and the region settings. We'll discuss these in a later chapter. For right now, make sure that your perspective view is set for smooth and highlights, and click OK.